Hi guys, you're welcome to our today's series in our teaching series. You can do your visas yourself. Guys, please, I want to throw more light on this New Zealand because everywhere on my FYP, everywhere on the internet, people are making video about New Zealand. Now let me break it down to you so that please you should understand it. I want you to watch this video from the beginning to the end of it so that you can get everything I have to say. I will say it in less than 6 or 7 minutes. 1. New Zealand has work to permanent residence route. They have, in that aspect, the work to resident permanent route, there are 2 ways. One is tier 1. Once you get a job and your profession is in that tier 1, you have permanent residence on the spot. Then 2, if your profession is in tier 2, you work 2 years, then you apply for permanent residence. That's how it works. Then 2, and also, there are some employers that sponsors your visa, while some employers don't sponsor. Some employers will give you a job, and you can apply to the Immigration New Zealand, and all the necessary costs will be on you. And as of today, to get the PRAs, it will cost you 6,000, I think 457 or 750 New Zealand dollars. That's what you pay to New Zealand government. Now, that is to get it. Also, there are some jobs that require you to have what they call skill assessments, while some jobs don't require to have that skill assessment. If, let's say for a profession like the healthcare, let's say like a doctor, a medical doctor, an engineer, a top-notch engineer, or an aeronautical engineer, I think it will be required to have what they call skill assessment, and that will cost you about 950 New Zealand dollars. That is the first thing you do. Then you submit it to the recruiter. The recruiter will now see that the professionals in that industry have assessed your skill and say you are now qualified for the job. They will not give you the job offer. If the employer sponsors visa, they are the one to pay everything apart from your skill assessment. That one's on you. All right? Then if they don't sponsor, they are giving you job, paying you the required amount, you have to sponsor yourself. You have to pay that 6,000 something to New Zealand government, and other, that is the main thing you pay. Another maybe legalization cost, blah blah blah, which is about $10, $20, blah blah blah, like that. So the major cost is the 6,000 something that you pay to New Zealand government. And if your job require you to have what they call it, I've just said it before, I've forgotten. If your job requires you to have authorization to authorize your document, you have to authorize your document. That means you have to pay to that body. That is for that. Why for the tier 2? The tier 2, which is you have to work for profession, falls in the tier 2. You have to work for 2 years there to apply for permanent residence. If the employer sponsors you, all the necessary things they have to pay. Then if you apply for the tier 2, you are not to pay that 6,400 and something dollars to government because you've not applied for a permanent resident yet. All right? If your profession requires skill assessment, you have to also do your skill assessment, which is about 900 and something dollars. Pay to the organization, to the body that does skill assessment, and the assessment result will come to show that you are qualified for this. That's exactly how it works. So, regard to visa sponsorship, some employers sponsors your visa, while some don't. Some employers gives you the job offer, they employ you, but they want you to come. They know with that employment you can secure your visa, but the necessary cost can be or should be on you. While some, without your offer letter, they will still go ahead and pay for everything that is required. And now there is a question here. Why will make an employer to pay to bring you in? 1, your skill. You must have the necessary skill that they need. 2, in having that skill, how do you show that you have this skill? You must show it in your rich resume, your rich and well-formatted ATS compliance CV and cover letter. And that is why in almost all the videos I've been making the past 3-4 years, at the end, I will end that you must get your ATS compliance CV and your cover letter. Why am I doing this? Because I'm doing it because when it comes to this relocation issue, immigration policy, I am the boss. I know what I'm saying. I'm deep in it. When immigration laws change, immigration rules change, at the snap of a finger, I get the updated rules. Now, why are they delayed in some processing? there are delays in some processing. Despite you doing the necessary payment, there are delays on processing. One, because some recruiters don't have the complete license to push for job. They also work with other recruiters that have the license. Why some recruiters have license have expired? All right. Then the second one is this: because the job route or the system that made you get the job offer is now out of place. Because at times they will change immigration rule without telling you. I woke up this morning 3 a.m. and I read through immigration rules. I discovered that some have been changed. And this that have been changed, the policy will now work on this updated immigration rule while you were marketing, telling your viewers if you have a recruiter that's not updated, they will be working with the old rules and they'll apply the old rules to the submission. It will be delaying. So you have to work with a recruiter that is smart. One, and two, you have to have updated ATS compliance CV and cover letter. That is your number one tool that you should have before you do anything. Before you start application, get your ATS compliance CV and cover letter. And what is in ATS that makes it an ATS? It is the keywords. It's not just the templates. I see some people having a fancy template. ATS does not approve fancy templates. ATS is not about template. It has nothing to do with templates. It is the clarity of the CV, the choice of keywords that is accepted in that industry. That's what makes an ATS compliance CV and cover letters. All right, guys. So please, I made this video to clarify some things that people have been saying. New Zealand. There are some fees to be paid if your recruiter, and it's not a must that your recruiter must sponsor your visa. It's not a must that the employer must sponsor your visa. Their own job is to employ you, give you a job in as much as they are licensed recruiters. And at the same time, it's not every recruiter that can recruit you. Your recruiter must be a licensed recruiter, and the recruitment license is reviewed every year. Your recruiter must be a licensed recruiter. All right? So if your licensed recruiter have met the requirement, has given you the job and the amount stated at the immigration law, so the rest is left for you. Why some go step further to kind of pay the necessary cost for that to ensure that you come? And what will make them do that? Because of your skill and how you've highlighted and formatted your skill in the ATS compliance CV and cover letter. If your CV is like Jantics, nobody cares. You might be good at what you do. So you must have a good ATS compliance CV and a good cover letter to be carried along. That is one. Then two, you can also relocate to New Zealand using the vocational studies. New Zealand is one country that have one of the best vocational schools. When you graduate, depends on what you study, it can be either in tier 1 or in tier 2. And the beauty of it, with vocational school, you can relocate with your dependents. That's just meet the requirement. That is the financial requirement to take care of them. All right? You can move with all your dependents. Then the third one is this. You can relocate with tourist visa. It's convertible to seasonal work visa. You can relocate with tourist visa from August 18. Seasonal work visa will be 3 years. It will not be 3 years. Multiple entry. You can relocate with tourist visa. That if you meet the requirement. All right. Then you can get to New Zealand. You pay. It will cost you about 1.3 million naira. I don't know how much in CFA. Maybe 800 CFA. I don't know. All right. It will cost you about 1.3 million naira to apply for the, for the seasonal worker visa. And from August, it will not be 3 years. Multiple. You can hold a seasonal worker visa. You'll be working. You can travel and come back for 3 years. Then after that, you build capacity. You build skills. You can now apply for a full-fledged work permit, which will either be in tier 1 or in tier 2, depending on your profession. So there is no video that beats this video online. I've explained things and time will not permit me to go further. So guys, like this video, share, comment positively. Let's grow this community together, and you can do your visas yourself. Contact me through the WhatsApp number in my bio to get your ATS compliance CV and cover letter. Thank you guys. Ciao.